All right, welcome back to Module 6. We're going to be talking about charts and graphs during this module. And what I've done is created a separate tab with some fake data on it, just to show you some easy ways to create charts and graphs, ways that we can modify them, format them, etc. And we will run through those exercises now. So as I said, I've got some fake data here. What I want to do is first show you how to create some reasonable looking tables very easily within Excel. And the first one, all we're going to do is we're going to highlight the gender table that we have here. We're going to go to Format as Table, and then we're going to select the table that we want. I'm just going to pick one down here that I like. It's going to then ask you where is the data for your table. We've already selected it, so it's highlighted it for us. We're going to say my table has headers. You're going to say OK, and there you go. There's your data formatted as a table. Same kind of thing. You can use the same formatting here. So let's do this one in green. Okay. And I'm actually going to move this data down a little bit so we've got some more room. So we're going to highlight it here and format as table, and I don't know, let's do this one in purple. Whoop. There we go. And the reason why it says column 1, column 2 is because when I clicked on the other cell, it unchecked my data has headers. So that's what you get when you do that. So I'm going to try that again. So we'll go to purple. Say my table has headers, and OK. There we go. And because I didn't name these columns, it just calls them column 2. So we're going to call this one count, and then we're going to do the same here. So very easy way to create tables. And again, if you wanted to print only this particular table, remember from our modules before, you highlight that, go to File, Print, Print Selected Table, and there you go. And you can play with the scaling as well to say custom scaling options, adjust to, and let's say we'll blow it up to, I don't know, 150%. And there we go. So you can make it as big as you want. And again, refer back to the other module in terms of formatting and how to center it on the page and all those things. So I'm not going to go through that in any detail now, but nice way to create a table easily, simply. You may want to, center things, or so for example, we can center our data here. Oh, and actually this did the same thing because I didn't check my table has headers. So let's do, that was green, right? So green, and we're just going to leave that as is. Actually, I'll delete this. Clear contents, age range, and count. And we can delete this. There we go. Okay, so now we're all set with our table. So what I want to show you, the other thing I want to show you is how to create a chart in Excel. And very, very simple, very similar. You may have done this in PowerPoint as well. Very similar kind of exercise. So really what we're going to do is we're going to highlight our data, and we're going to come to, I'm just going to do some bar charts for this one. You'll notice that because total has values in it as well, it's also highlighted. All you need to do is come over here to the little box that highlights the data that's selected, and get your arrows, click and drag it up, and so it doesn't include total, and it will exclude total there. In order to format this chart, let's say we don't want to call this count, we want to say number of men and women. We just click on that and then start typing. The other way that you can do it is come up here to the bar and you can highlight it. Let's say we want to say count of men and women, and it changes it there. Let's say that we want to color these a different color. You can always click on the bar. If you click once, it highlights the entire series, so it will highlight both men and women. So if I go to um, format here and I change the shape fill to red, it's going to change both of them. So what I want to do is click on one of them and then click on the one I want to change again. And let's do shape fill and we'll turn that one to blue. So now we can see men and women. Our scale is over here on the left hand side. If we double click our scale, we're going to get a menu here off on the right hand side. We only have the maximum number we have is women, and that goes to 10, so we may want to change our scale to only be to 10, so we can just click here on the maximum and do 10 there. Our units, our major units are going to be, because I changed that to 10, it changed our major units to 1, meaning these lines that go across is 1. So I'm going to change those to 2 actually, because I think it cleans things up a little bit. And there you go. So now we have our lines there. Horizontal axis crosses. Oftentimes I'll use this if I'm doing a scatter plot, plotting various different points, and you can change it so the axis changes to the average of where it crosses the horizontal axis. So we're not going to worry about that today. It's a little more advanced than what we're covering today, but it is possible to do. And let's see, what else do we want to look at here? If you want to do the whole chart area, you can change the fill and the border here. So if we wanted to solid fill, you can do that, or gradient fill kind of thing. So these are all different ways that you can fill your chart. So I would say play around with some of this as well, just so you get used to it and understand kind of how to use it. We can put a line around it, those kinds of things. So all sorts of different options that we have. I said no fill, let's do solid fill, but we'll do white just because it makes it easier to see. And if you wanted to do like shadows and things, so you can do some of their preset shadows, that's for the whole fill area, so it kind of makes things a little more pretty, and all sorts of different things you can do. So let's see here, 3D format it, so you can do beveling and mess with all of that. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. Similar to PowerPoint, you can make all these changes in PowerPoint as well. So it's a very easy to learn once you know kind of PowerPoint and how PowerPoint works. But so let's do, we're going to double click again on the data and the series. One interesting thing you can do, the series overlap, you can change this. When you have different bars, it won't work in this chart, but when you have different bars, you can change how far away they are apart with the series overlap and also the gap width. So you can change that as well. That one does work with a bar chart. So we're going to put that back in right in the middle. So so that is the formatting of the table. If you go to right click on your series or your bars here, you can go to add data labels and just click add data labels, so you can add your values here, so you can see 5 men, 10 women. You can filter the data and you can look at various different things, so pretty easy to see here. You can say apply and it will only show the women. You can do vice versa. Whoop. Filter, select all, and apply. There we go. So that's a pretty basic bar chart that I wanted to show you as well. So we're going to just shrink that up. Oh, another thing that you can do with bar charts that I like to do just to make things look clean, more clean, is if you click on one of the lines and hit delete, you can get rid of those lines. Just a personal preference. I just think it looks nicer and a little bit cleaner. So we'll shrink that back up. Let's do age ranges. And we're going to do insert. Excel also has a cool feature here, recommended charts. And if you click on that, it will tell you what kind of charts they think you should have in your data, which is pretty interesting. So we're going to go with one of their recommended charts. It's another column chart. Actually, I'm going to hit cancel here because I want to do a line chart here because we're showing ages. We're going to take off total again. bring that up so we can see kind of the ages we're going to call. Instead of count, I'm going to click on this and do age range, count, enter. We're going to take off the lines. We're going to do a little bit of formatting here. You know, you can change your line color and your transparency and all those kinds of things, which is fine to do. What I want to do is click on smooth line, just because it makes it look a little more professional, I think. Depending on your data, again, this really does depend on what you're trying to go for and what kind of story you're trying to tell, but we'll just stick with where it is here. We're going to go to presets, do a little shadow on our line. Now we're going to click out, so we do, I don't know, let's do some 3D formatting and do a little bevel there. So pretty much, you know, you can make charts look really, really professional and pretty good using the tools that you have available. So we're going to add some data labels as well here so we can know what we're talking about. This is a perfect example of adding data labels and needing to drag them around because they get in the way of the data. So see the 1 down here by the 51 to 60. What I did was click on that, and I'm going to click again and drag, so I can drag that to where I need it to be in order to be read more effectively. So that's down at the bottom there, and you can see kind of the rest of the data labels there. So that's that. We'll do one more chart. We'll do a pie chart. So I'm going to not highlight the total this time. I'm going to go to Insert, Pie Chart. Let's do a 3D pie chart in this case. You can see here, and we'll do region, count. What we're going to do here, we're going to leave most of this stuff alone. And we're just going to click and right click, and we're going to do add data labels, and there we go. And if we click on alignment, we can decide where we want the labels to be, etc., etc. We're going to leave them where they are right now, but that is basically the charts and graphs. So if you need to change text or change, for example, like this 5 is dark on dark color, so you can go, you can go to home, and then you can just change that text color as well to white if you just need to change one data point. So that is the basics of charts and graphs and manipulating charts and graphs, and then some formatting tips as well. Again, it takes a little bit of practice. You'll want to play around with this in some of your spare time, just based on the story that you want to tell. I've given you several tips and tricks to make things look good, and hopefully you pick something up today. Thanks a lot for your time.